How's it going? Necrotic Nick from Thralls Metal, and I'm going to do another collection update. I didn't really go over everything I got in January. First one was just kind of a introductory test run one. Let's just get into this. So the first one was one I made mention in the first video. It's Soilwork Verkligheten. I've already jammed this one. It's another solid offering from Soilwork. First one with their new drummer. I can't remember his name, but he is definitely the heir apparent to Dirk. And not much of a change in style there. This one is a little more keyboard forward. Definitely some fierce 80s vibes, especially in the single stall fuggle. I think that's how that's pronounced. These guys have pretty much been on a tear since the Panic broadcast, so this is just another solid offering from them. I've been jamming this quite a bit. Dead Congregations, Purifying, Consecrated Ground. This is awesome old school death metal from Greece. Definitely for fans of Morbid Angel, Immolation, stuff of that ilk. The only thing I can knock it on is maybe the drums didn't sound that great. But songwriting, this is just kick-ass. Real low vocals, real gritty guitar sound. Definitely, I'm a huge fan of these guys. I've been really getting into them since I picked up on them around 2014. Awesome jam. Definitely recommend this one. This one. This is Sulfur Ions, the Scythe of Cosmic Chaos. This is some Cthulhu worshipping epic death metal. It's just a fantastic listen. I've been jamming this a lot here lately. Very much like Behemoth and Nile. There's really cool clean vocals in this, but they're very chanty. Pretty much, if you're bored and want to summon Cthulhu, this is the soundtrack to put on. It's absolutely amazing. Very melodic in parts too, but definitely not melodic death metal. This is straightforward, very much death metal. Definitely check this one out. If anything, this is probably one I might most strongly recommend. Next is an EP from Cancer that I picked up. Simply call it Corporations with a $sign as the S. It's not very good. This came out in 2004, and for anyone that was hoping for a return to form, they weren't getting it in this one. Honestly, the opening track on here, which is pretty much the only one that's an original on here, or at least like a new track. The rest are remixes and then a cover and a live version of a older song. Honestly, you'd swear you were listening to Ministry or something of that ilk. It's industrial metal. And it came out in 2004, which is kind of odd because 2004 really wasn't like a big year for industrial metal for the most part. Like you probably look back further, like in the late 90s. So I don't know what they're trying to do. Maybe just trying to do something different, but it didn't really work out on this. But still, I'm a completionist, so I picked it up and it was only like $5. So, Black Cobra's Bestial, or Bestial. Whatever. Awesome two-piece stoner doom band. This is one of the earlier ones. They had a lot more harsh vocals, and instead they kind of trimmed those down in the later albums, or at least just had one kind of level of scream. This one's a little more like a hardcore bark, but the music on here is very killer. If you're a big fan of High on Fire, strongly recommend this. Animosity Empires. This was one I was missing out on my collection. I have their second album, which I thought was really good. These guys were kind of maybe a little early to the whole deathcore craze in the mid-2000s, and I think they kind of suffered from it, you know, where later bands got more recognized. Pretty solid album from what I've jammed on it. I gotta go back and jam it again because it's been a long time since I heard this. Broken Hope, Repulsive Conception. This is one I was missing out of Broken Hope's back catalog. This one was an okay one. It's a bit of a transition from their earlier, more proto-brutal death. Still had the very low vocals, but there was little bits more groove and melody in this, even some acoustic interludes and such. It's a pretty good album. They definitely shaped up on the next album, which was Loathing, which is an underrated gem in terms of 90s death metal, in my opinion. But this is a pretty good listen. I dig it. pretty solid. I was so happy to get this one in the mail. I had to order this one directly from Dark Descent. This is Deceased's Ghostly White. And these guys do such an awesome blend of thrash metal, death metal, and kind of classic heavy metal like Iron Maiden and Angel Witch and such. And it really works like well on this. These styles blend seamlessly. And it always has like an interesting narrative or a story that goes throughout the entire album. Awesome listen. I strongly recommend this one. It may have been on my year-end list if I'd actually listened to it back then. This one is absolutely killer. This is Musmahhu, Reign of the Odious. I ordered this directly from Iron Bonehead Records, and it is incredible. This is very much blackened death metal. It's absolutely fantastic. Definitely reminds me of Behemoth a bit. Production's very raw, but it works with the sound very well. It's just haunting. Very tortured vocals. God, it's absolutely amazing. If you're just a big fan of death metal in general, I think this would be a solid listen. Happy to get this one. This pretty much completes, I think, everything I've had from Entombed. This is their live album, live in London, also known as Monkey Puss. What a fucking great title for an album. Yeah, this is pretty much all the old school stuff from a show in 1992. So the only other live album I had was Unreal Estates, which covered a little bit of the more alternative, crust punky, death and roll stuff. This is strictly first two albums of Entombed, so if you're a diehard Swedish death metal fan, you know what songs are going to be on here. It's pretty fucking good. Midnight. This is No Mercy for Mayhem. I recently got hip to this band, courtesy of just a lot of people talking about them. And if you love Venom, Motorhead, and bands like Toxic Holocaust, this is just raw, stripped down, gritty, black and roll, I guess you want to call it. It's absolutely fantastic. The songs are sleazier than hell, very raw vocals. Everything on this is just raw. It feels just DIY too. Like it's a one-man band essentially, and it's just really good songwriting for as simple as the songs are. They're very like punk oriented. I absolutely love this. The album covers are absolutely killer too. Definitely am eager to hear more from these guys. Eyehategod, Preaching the End Time Message. This is a live album I picked up at the kind of like the bargain bin over at one of our local CD shops. It was one I was missing the discography, and I mean it's just gritty Eyehategod. If you're familiar with these guys, it's sludge metal from the deep south, right in the heart of NOLA. Sounds like it was recorded in someone's basement, which is exactly the kind of feel I think you'd want for a band like this. Another one from Deceased, Fearless Undead Machines. This one is one that came highly recommended from people that, I told them I was getting into the band Deceased. And this one is awesome. The entire narrative is just pretty much about zombie apocalypse. And once again, the seamless blending of those styles, heavy metal, thrash metal, and death metal, it works so well. Like, the only thing I can knock it on is maybe the vocals are a little bit one note, but the songwriting is fantastic on this. Love this one. This is Carnation's original EP, Cemetery of the Insane. If you love Swedish death metal, get this. This is pure bloodbath, dismember, entombed worship. Great album. Only 5 songs. Production's pretty solid. Like, this is, this sounds like it came right out of the 90s. Just a great Swedish death metal band. And, now that they're on Season of Mist, got the first full length out. I think we'll be hearing more from them because that album was pretty solid as well. Might as well just throw these up as a pair. Got Cult of Luna's Somewhere Along the Highway and Mariner, the one they did with Julie Christie from Stolen Babies, and God, there's a couple other bands she was in. Just really good heavy post-metal. Needed to round out some of the stuff I had by them in terms of like getting a complete discography. Like bands like Isis, early The Ocean, Neurosis, of course. Just really awesome post-metal, super layered, heavy as hell. And still gotta jam these, but I'm looking forward to it. And this one was another one I got by the band Bloodsoaked. This is The Death of Hope. I think this was their most recent one. This one actually had kind of a change in terms of the vocal style. Like the vocals were less brutal deathy and more towards like kind of a traditional death metal, kind of more raspy. Pretty good. I mean, it's kind of bare bones writing, I thought, but it's still well executed. Very similar to something like Dying Fetus or maybe Blood Red Throne. Pretty good listen. I dug it. And then this is Eroded with Necropath. This is another one I ordered a while ago off of FDA Records. And this is just straight old school death metal. Once again, kind of something I'm into. Very much along the lines of incantation, immolation, bit of obituary here and there. Real 90s-esque production too, so kind of chunky guitars. It doesn't feel like it was Pro Tooled to death. Like there's a lot of grit on this, and I like that. It definitely adds to the feel of the album. Solid listen. Definitely dig these guys. I recommend all of these, by the way. Well, that's just pretty much a collection roundup. If there's anything I missed, let me know. Feel free to comment. Let me know what you think of the ones, if you got them. Tell me what you think. And of course, like, subscribe, and we will continue to put out more videos. Catch you guys later.